Hello, this is J.R. Logan at MakeHaven, and I'm going to take you through the quick version of the presentation that we give to people as they innovate on the American-made Solar Prize here at MakeHaven. So this is an overview of the contest and the process that we use to help people come up with ideas. The competition itself, the American-made Solar Prize, is there to support U.S. manufacturing in solar and energize the innovation around energy. It's a series of contests that transform big ideas into prototypes for industry and testing, and it's supported by a big network that will help you to scale up. So just to start off, this is a prize, not a grant. Grants often have a very cumbersome and bureaucratic process that goes into getting the grant and then following up about the grant. The way they look at this is reward for work done. Your innovation is the thing you're submitting that they are getting. They are rewarding you for producing and sharing that innovation. So it gives a lot more flexibility and removes a lot of the steps that would discourage smaller entrepreneurial types from being engaged with such a process. So who's eligible? You do have to be a U.S. citizen to be a team lead, but you can be an entrepreneur, a student, faculty, scientist, pretty much anyone with an idea, for-profit, non-profit. They even allow non-federal government entities, and so it's a big, wide umbrella, although look at the contest rules to be sure. So just the overall structure of this prize competition has 3 phases. And we're right now at the ready phase, and that's what we're going to talk about the rest of the time. But know that if you win the ready phase and get the $50,000, you can move into the 10 semifinalists that can get $100,000 each, or the 2 winners to get $500,000 cash just for that level. So you will have accumulated each one of those. And of course, the big part of being one of the 20 semifinalists is there's 10 at the next level with a much bigger prize. So that's a small pool where you have a great chance of success. There's also, you notice this Jedi prize, and I'll clue you into what that is as well in a moment. So the ready phase is about focusing on getting your idea out there, a conceptual solution that you can show that you'd be able to take to a proof of concept. It needs to be an impactful idea or solution that addresses a critical need within solar, and you can show that there's that path of how you would take the next level of providing a proof of concept. How does this get decided? Well, it's a panel of expert reviewers. These people can be from government and industry, and they think about how impactful, how wide is your solution going to be on the industry? Does the problem fit the solution? Is it credible? Do you have a team with the capabilities that are have the technical expertise and the drive to actually make this happen? And are you going to leverage external resources like the network of people around you and the network of organizations like MakeHaven who are connectors there to support your group? The Jedi that I had mentioned earlier, this is a bonus that can happen in each one of the phases. There's $200,000 overall between all of the phases, but in this first ready round, it's $100,000 and can be split with up to 10 finalists. So it's a justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion bonus. That means that your solution is paying particular attention to satisfying the needs and bringing in those that may have been disadvantaged by the traditional structures and systems that are there. And if you are thoughtful about that and making sure that you address those concerns and make the world more equitable in its solutions around energy, you can get up to $25,000 bonus just in this round. So that would be a total of $75,000 between the 50 and the 25. You could get less if many of the groups meet that criteria, because it's $100,000 that gets split. But it's definitely worth going for if you have an aspect of your solution that can meet those needs. So to give you some context, like what kind of things win, I just went back and looked at the round 5 winners. I'd encourage you to go back and look for the press releases for earlier ones so you could get a sense of what wins. But we have this all-in-one residential solar panel. This essentially looks like they had a process for packaging and combining a bunch of things, the racking, flashing, and hardware, so that there's a single product that can be more easily installed in a residential situation. Seems like an obvious thing to do, but it takes a lot of skill to pull all those pieces together and make it standardized, maybe expand who can install it. There's Origami Solar. They were working with aluminum frames that were imported, and it looks like they are leveraging US steel and other frames and reducing the cost of photovoltaics, that's PV, and supporting the US supply chain. So they're taking something, frames, and they're steel rolling the frames and making them easier to make domestically, or they're working on supporting that. And then we have three others right from the last one, at least, that were more software oriented. So platform for inspection, operations, and maintenance of photovoltaic systems. Another one, which is a mobile desktop tool for operating maintenance flow, manage that to assist technicians. And then we have the winner of the Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion that had a platform for connecting consumers to purchase carbon offsets for high-impact rooftop projects in underserved communities. So essentially, like, it's a marketing, consumer-oriented matching tool that uses credits. So a wide variety of things here, and none of them required a deep laboratory or cutting-edge science in the molecular structure of a solar panel. These are things that regular people can figure out and learn how to implement. So what does a submission look like? It's a 90-second video. You could use YouTube, for example, just to record a video. We've done before where I used Prezi, which is a presentation software that's kind of slick, and narrated over top of that so it could move between various things. Focus on the content, not on big production value. There's a cover page. Then there's 4 narrative answers: the problem, the solution, the team, and the plan. And then optionally a Jedi question. When you do when you answer these questions in the rules, there's actually an outline telling you exactly what the judges will be looking for. And so it's really important that you look at those rules and be sure that you've fully answered their questions as they ask them. There is a PowerPoint slide, just a single slide where you can put a drawn diagram or a flow chart, something along those lines, and then letters of commitment. These are optional. For example, if you were at MakeHaven and you were going to build a prototype that could use our fabrication capabilities and the support of our volunteers, we would write a letter of support indicating that, yes, we have these resources, we'll be happy to help you, it's an achievable result, we see that you're committed. So if you're near MakeHaven, have a physical prototype, that might reach out to us, and we may be able to help you there if you're interested in using us. But also, if you're somewhere else, think about who could be involved and who could support to make your application stronger. And just to kind of identify that people that submit to this do win, we've had several similar contests that MakeHaven members have won. One was a Mars habitat through NASA. Another was the e-robot, which is a robot that put insulation panels on a wall robotically. They won $200,000. There was a Coast Guard device that was attached to a life jacket and extended streamers so that the helicopter could find you at sea more easily. And most recently, there was a organization called Gather New Haven, and we helped them to put together an application and think through a program that would be the Eco Innovation Lab, basically bringing in youth from disadvantaged situations to prototype and learn how to come up with innovations that would be relevant to their life experience regarding energy and solar and all of these sorts of things. So I'd mentioned the assessment and how important it is to answer the questions of the reviewers. They literally go question by question or criteria by criteria, and they're going to be assessing on a scale of from strongly disagree to strongly agree that this team has answered and sounds capable. So what does it mean to be capable? Have you answered in sufficient technical detail? Have you demonstrated an innovative approach that has solid foundations and what can actually happen and useful? Could it turn into a sustainable business? Is there a group of people who'd be willing to be paying customers? And is there evidence that you'd be able to take it to a proof of concept? Can your team do that? Do you have the path to go to actually proving that what you think could happen will happen? So the goals when we do the brainstormings are just to brainstorm, come up with a bunch of ideas, a 90-second pitch to basically practice a mini version of what people will submit. So we go through first what are the problems within the solar industry, and there's several. There's inefficiency and wasted heat. There is mismatches because the energy generated in the middle of the day when the sun is shining is not when people are turning on their lights or using energy at night. Solar power is intermittent. Storage is expensive. Recycling is going to become more of an issue as we produce more panels, but also as panels that are currently on homes and might be less effective than the newer ones get retired and we need to do something with them. Alignment to the sun so that they get the full sun is expensive. Those systems are expensive. They're expensive to install and complicated to install. That could be better. And you've seen people have won in the past for that. There's unfriendly environmental substances during the production. There's maintenance costs. The panels can be blocked by all kinds of debris and dust. Manufacturing would be great if it could happen domestically, and just it lives in an ecosystem where there's a lot of incumbent, complex legacy systems that have to be worked through. That might be software, but that might be also process, and some of these technical impacts can change that. And then what we do, and this can be useful in coming up with your own idea, is we ask people to silently write down as many wild and crazy ideas as they can. And if they're stuck, I say, what if solar was, and then you pick something. So if I were just to pick hidden, well, what if solar was hidden? Maybe it could be hidden under a layer of water. Maybe it could be hidden by being behind a mural or a painting. And how would we do that? Maybe it could be hidden by putting it inside of a sculpture that is all curved and beautiful, and we have some new technology to do it there. The point isn't that these are going to be your final ideas. The point is not that these are good ideas. The point is that it forces you to break out of a rut of just thinking about the established solutions you already know and getting a little crazy with getting those innovative juices going, coming up with things that are not standard. And in between those, there might be some connection where you actually find something that could have traction, find something that could be useful, find something unexpected. So I encourage you to engage with this sort of exercise with yourself or others, and just accept wild and then narrow it down to practical only after you've gone through all the wild. We sort of share out the ideas and look at them. And then we do a worksheet. You can access this worksheet at the URL on the screen, but it goes through problem, solution, sketch your idea, which obviously translates pretty well to a PowerPoint slide. And then we do a practice 90-second pitch to each other so that people have a sense of what that seems like. As on a practical matter, there's the marketing page that tells you all about the American-Made Solar Challenge, but you hear a lot about HeroX. So HeroX is the third-party service that they have hired that does a bunch of these contests, and it's actually where you're going to find most of the stuff you engage. So the webinars will most likely be posted there, the rules will be posted there, there might be questions and answers or events. There's also a timeline, which is quite useful. And you ultimately, when you submit your application, are going to do it by creating a team there and adding your teammates and then uploading your PDF and so on. So you should get familiar with the HeroX page for this. Don't get confused about that. There's a separate website that sort of markets the contest overall, and then this is where a lot of the practical information that a team submitting would need is on the HeroX site. And there is a network of resources. There are some resources you can access. There's a directory online, but MakeHaven is one of these, where we help to fabricate, we help to teach people the skills, we help to inspire and might connect to other resources. But then there might be others who are specializing in supporting entrepreneurs or the financial aspects or the scientific aspects. There's a big network, and know that particularly as you move past the ready, getting into set and beyond, that there is a group of connectors and super connectors ready to support you. So MakeHaven, just so you know what we look like, we have a big metal shop with a water jet, welding, and milling machines. We have a 3D printer fabrication lab with all sorts of stuff for casting and prototyping. And then a wood shop and a media room, which is useful for obviously doing presentations. And next steps. So read the rules. I can't encourage you enough to take a look at the rules, though the tip is to just look for the section that is relevant to the ready stage. It's a very big rule set, and it can be overwhelming if you try and understand the rules for all of the rules in detail for the later stages. You can worry about that later. Good to review them, but focus on the section that is ready, and especially focus on the section where they tell you specifically what the evaluators are going to be looking for in your answers, and be sure that you answer each one of those. And you can even have somebody go through and pretend evaluate you and see if they agree or disagree that you have answered those questions. So writing up your proposal is following that. Make sure you submit by October 6th. That's October 6th, and that is 2022 that I am telling you this. And you expect the announcement to be December 6th, where you would learn, hopefully, that you've won $50,000, maybe even $75,000, and can move into the next phase of really getting your proof of concept and moving towards a prototype and eventually a business. So thank you for listening to this speed introduction to the contest and the way we encourage people to come up with new ideas. If you are in the area or just want support from MakeHaven, feel free to reach out to us, info@makehaven.org. And you can find us on the internet at makehaven.org, just the website. We do focus in the greater New Haven region in Connecticut, but we would love to know that we are inspiring and helping others to jump in and do this contest as well. We've had a lot of folks who have had success and have enjoyed the process. Thank you for your time, and good luck.